Hey there, and welcome to today's class. Today we'll be doing a full body yoga routine just to see if we can stretch every muscle and bone in our bodies, as well as just get a nice good sweat going. For this practice, you might need to use a prop to help with your balances, so either a block or a pillow, or just something to help with your elevation when you're in your balancing poses. So to begin, we'll start off with a child's pose. So having our knees as wide as the mat, sitting on our heels, we're just going to walk our hands out in front of us as we bring our forehead down to the mat as we just lay here and settle in for the next few breaths, just clearing our minds and bringing our focus right here to the mat. Taking some nice deep breaths in, feeling your lungs expand, and gently letting it out through the nose or the mouth. Taking another deep breath in, and a cleansing breath out. You can then shift your weight over to the right side as you bring your right hand just outside the mat and placing your left hand on top of your right. You just rest in here, feeling a nice little gentle lengthening going on in your left. And then shifting your weight over to the left side, placing your right hand on top of your left. And moving back to center, we can then push ourselves back onto our hands and our knees, coming into a tabletop position. And from here, we can just go into some circular motions around our wrist just to get some movement and mobility going. As we move in the one direction, before changing over in the other. And then coming back to center, we're going to go to some barrel roll cat cows. So taking a breath in, we're going to lift our chin up, dipping our bellies down. And as we do, we're going to lean over to the right. Then as you exhale, bringing chin to chest, rounding your back out, and shifting over to the left. Just going in this flowing left and right motion as we get our spines nice and warm. And then you can change over in the other direction. And finally, coming back to center, we're going to start with our right leg now as we just extend it out to the back before lifting it up, bring it in line with our spine, and then balancing on our right hand, reaching out with our left to make a nice straight line from our front fingers all the way to the back. And here we're going to take a deep breath in, and as you exhale, crunching your abs as you bring your elbow towards your knee. Inhale to expand, and exhale to crunch. Go into 2 more rounds at your own pace as you really focus on matching your movements with your breath. And on your last one, you can bring your hand and knee back down, and we can move on to the other side. So extending your left leg out and raising up to in line with your spine, and reaching out with your right hand, going as far forward as you can. So hold your full breath in, and then exhaling, bring your elbow to knee. Inhale to expand, and exhale to contract. Going to do 2 more rounds. And on your last one, you can bring your hands and knee back down. And we're just going to shift our weight forward as we come to lay on our stomachs. And then having our hands just below our shoulders, we're going to float them off the mat, raising our chest up using our back muscles as we come into a baby cobra. And then exhaling, bring your hands back down, lifting your hips up, and coming into your first downward dog. In your down dog, you can just settle into the pose, maybe walk your dog out, bending one leg at a time. So you really want to focus on keeping your back nice and straight, and your head hanging loose. And then starting with our right legs, we're going to kick it up as high as we can before bending our leg and stacking our hips on top of each other as we make our right knee the highest point of our body. Before exhaling, bringing your right foot over to your right pinky finger as we come into a lizard pose. And you have the option to either keep your back knee straight or you can lower it down for more passive variation. And then heel turn your foot to the center of the mat. You can raise your chest up as we come into a low crescent lunge before cactusing your arms out to the side and gently leaning back for a nice little gentle back bend. Then coming back up straight, bring our left hand down to the mat next to our right foot. And raise our back knee as we open our chest out to the right, raising our right hand for a twist. And then bring your right hand down. Bring your legs back together for plank as you hold your full breath in. And then exhaling, we're going to chaturanga down, bringing our chest all the way down to the mat. And this time we're going to keep our hands planted beneath our shoulders as we push our chest up, coming into a cobra. Before exhaling, tucking our toes and pushing back into our down dog. Moving on to the other side, kicking up your left leg as high as you can before bending your knee and stacking hips on top of each other. Then exhaling, bringing your left foot over to your hand as we come to whichever variation of lizard you feel your body needs. Then heel turn your foot to the center of the mat as we raise our chest up before cactusing our arms and coming into our low lunge back bend. And then coming back up straight, planting your right hand down as you raise your back knee, open your chest out to the left. And bring your left hand back down, kicking back into a high plank, holding your full breath in, exhaling to lower down. Inhale to go up for your cobra, or you can maybe raise your hips off the mat for an up dog. Before exhaling, back into your down dog. Moving back to our right leg, kicking up nice and high. This time I'm going to keep our legs straight. And then as you exhale, bending your knee and placing your foot between your hands. As we raise our chest up, raising our hands, coming into our high crescent lunge. And exhaling, we're going to bring our right hand forward and left hand back. So come into a warrior two. Really focus on pulling your shoulders as far back as you can. So we can have a nice straight line from our front fingers all the way to the back. And then flipping our front palm, we're going to reverse our warrior as we throw our hand over our head. And with our backhand, we're going to wrap it behind our back as we come into a half bind. And then moving back into a warrior two, keeping your backhand behind your back, we're going to now straighten our front leg. As we flip our palms to the side, we bring our right hand down to our shins for a variation of triangle. And then bending your front leg once more, bring both hands back down to mat, kicking back into our plank, and once more going through our flow. Exhale to lower, inhale to your back bend of choice, before exhaling back into our downward dog. Moving on to the left side, left leg kicking up nice and high, before exhaling, bringing your foot between your hands as we raise up into our high lunge. Really engaging your core to help focus, bringing focus on your balance. And then twisting our bodies as we drop our back heel to come into our Virabhadrasana 2, Warrior 2. Flipping your front palm, throwing it over your head as we reverse our warrior with our right hand, coming to our half bind. Moving back into your warrior 2, keeping your hand behind your back. We straighten our leg, bring our left hand down to our shin for a triangle. We really want to focus on pulling our right shoulder as far back as we can to really open out our chest. And then bring both hands to frame your front foot, kicking back into our plank for the last time. We go through our flow. Great stuff. Now from here, we can just walk our hands to the back of the mat. You can meet me in a forward fold. Yeah, keeping a slight bend in your knees. You can just maybe sway your bodies from side to side. Feeling a nice little release going on your lower back. You can even grab your elbows for a gentle ragdoll. And then releasing your elbows, taking a breath in. We're going to place our hands onto our shins. So we lift our chest up halfway. Focus on keeping your back nice and straight. Before exhaling back into your fold. And then ever so slowly, we're going to tuck our chin into our chest as we roll ourselves up, coming into our full standing. As we roll our shoulders back, palms facing forward to come into our Tadasana. And here you can just take a moment just to feel yourself grounded into the earth, gripping your toes into the mat. And from here, you might want to start using your block or your prop. So taking it on whichever sitting you want, and place it near the top in the middle of the mat. I'm going to start with our right foot. So stepping forward to the center of the mat, we're going to go into a warrior 3. So keeping your back foot straight and having a nice straight line from your foot to the crown of your head. We're going to lean forward, bring our body into a T shape. If you focus on keeping our hips nice and square, and you can even bring your hands to heart center if it helps with the balance. And then with your right hand, you can bring it down either to the mat or to your block. As you open your chest out to the left, raising your left hand to come into a half moon. And then swapping your hands, bring your left hand down, right hand up for a revolved half moon. Then you can bring your foot down as well as your right hand back into a forward fold. And you can slowly start rolling back up. And we can move on to the other side. So weight onto your left foot, right leg nice and straight, then hinging forward, coming into your T shape. You can even have a slight bend in your knee if it helps with your balance. And then bringing your left hand down, opening your chest out to the right for a half moon. And then right hand down, left hand up for revolved half moon. And then bring your leg and hand down to the mat. And you can come now meet me laying on your backs. And keeping both your legs bent to the point where you can actually touch your heels with your hands. We're going to go into a bridge pose. So starting with our hips, we're going to start lifting it up. Then our lower back, middle back, and finally our upper back to the point where we have a straight line from our knees to our shoulders. And you have a couple of variations. You can either keep your hands as is, you can clasp them below your lower back, or you can even raise your heels off the mat to come into your tippy toes. And then releasing your palms if you're holding them, dropping your heels before we start lowering our backs all the way down. When you bring your hips down, you can keep your left knee bent, and with your right ankle onto your left knee, we're going to have our hands out to the side, and we just let our legs and our foot fall over to the left, coming into a twist. And bring your legs back up to center and swap over to the other side. Right foot down, left foot on the right hip, left ankle onto your right knee, and just letting it all fall over to the right. And bring your legs back to center. And placing your feet together, you can just windscreen wipe your legs from side to side. Just release any tension you could be feeling in your lower back. Before finally stretching both your legs out, bring your hands to your sides. As we keep our eyes closed, as we lay in our final pose of Shavasana. Yeah, you can just spend a few minutes clearing out your mind, forgetting on any stresses and strains outside of the mat. As you just relax and drift away. And then bringing your focus back to your breath, feeling the air flowing through your nose, filling up your lungs, re-energizing your body, and gently waking up your body as we wiggle our fingers and our toes, moving our wrists and ankles. And then we can raise our hands above our head. So we come to a nice full body stretch like we're waking up in the morning. And then with your eyes still closed, you can choose to either stay laying on your back or you can come meet me in a seated position. And we just spend the next few moments just to reflect. Notice how we feel. Maybe a little less stressed, a little more relaxed. You can even give yourself a little mental pat on the back for making time for yourself and looking after yourself. And then taking one last breath in, we can bring our palms together to heart center. And then as we exhale, we can bow to close our practice. I hope you guys enjoyed that. I hope you felt some benefits. Please let me know in the comments if there's anything else you would like me to do. And I hope to see you again next time on the Yoga Mat.